thought it was just an experiment, something temporary. They paid me by the week, and at first it seemed simple. I just needed to follow a few rules, keep the phone on, reply quickly, confirm I was alone, nothing that seemed too heavy. I signed without reading properly. The money part was clear. The rest seemed like detail. I needed that money. They knew that. The first message arrived the next day. It was just a question, where I was, what I was doing. I replied without thinking much. It seemed like conversation. On the second day, 3 messages arrived. On the third, 5. Always small questions, simple. I thought I was in control. I replied when I wanted. At least that's what I told myself. The phone's vibration started to become part of my body. I felt it before I even heard it. Sometimes there wasn't even a message, but my body already reacted. I looked, always looked. They never asked for anything absurd at first. It was all gradual, subtle. Take a photo of what you're eating. Tell me who you went out with today. Send an audio saying how your day was. I sent them. It didn't seem like a big deal. I could stop whenever I wanted. I repeated that, but I never stopped. The money came in reliably every week. I started to count on it, to plan with it, and the more I counted on it, the less I questioned. If any part of this seems familiar, perhaps this channel is for you. The first time they asked for something different, I hesitated. It was the early hours. The message said, "Turn on the camera and show your room." Just that, nothing more. I kept staring at the phone, thought about refusing, but then another message came, reminding me about the payment, reminding me about the agreement. I turned on the camera, showed the room. It lasted 10 seconds. They thanked me, said I was reliable. That night, I couldn't sleep properly, not because something bad had happened, but because something had changed. I still didn't understand what. After that, the requests became more frequent, never absurd, always within a limit I could accept. Take a selfie now. Send the location of where you are. Tell me if there's anyone with you. I sent them, always sent them. They started to know my routine better than I did. They knew when I woke up, when I ate, who I spoke to. I noticed it once when the message arrived exactly at the moment I was about to leave home, as if they were waiting. I didn't ask how they knew. I didn't want to know. The phone's vibration became my internal clock, my alarm, my company. I checked the phone before doing anything, before eating, before sleeping, before thinking. It was automatic. My body already knew. There are things you don't notice changing until they've already changed. I started to avoid going out with friends, not because they forbade it, but because it was easier to be alone, fewer questions, fewer explanations, less chance of delaying a reply. They never said I couldn't go out, but when I went out, the messages increased, became more urgent, more insistent, so I stopped going out. It was simpler that way. One day, I received a different message. They wanted me to record a video talking about how I felt, about the agreement, about them. Nothing forced, they said, just honest. I recorded it, 3 minutes, saying everything was fine, that it was just work, that I still chose. When I finished, I watched the video before sending it. My face looked tired, my voice sounded distant. I seemed to be trying to convince myself. I sent it anyway. They loved it, said I was perfect, that they trusted me. That should have made me happy, but it didn't. There, I understood it wasn't about the money anymore. It was about something else, something I couldn't name. The messages started arriving at strange hours, 3 in the morning, 5 in the morning, always the same thing. Are you there? Just want to be sure. I always replied, even without sleeping, even tired. I replied because I was afraid of what would happen if I didn't reply. They never threatened, never said something bad would happen, but the absence of a reply seemed worse than any threat. The silence was unbearable. The phone's vibration became my only rhythm. I didn't do anything anymore without checking, didn't eat without checking, didn't walk without checking, didn't breathe without checking. My entire body was connected to that device. I was always waiting, always ready, always available. A friend asked me if I was all right. I said yes. He didn't seem to believe me, asked if I wanted to talk. I said no. After that, I stopped answering calls. It was easier that way, less complicated. They started to test limits, small ones, subtle. Cancel your appointment today. Don't go out at night. Don't speak to that person. I obeyed, always obeyed. Not because they ordered, but because it was easier to obey than to deal with the tension of refusing. The tension was worse than the obedience. I started to wonder when was the last time I'd made a decision on my own, without consulting the phone, without waiting for approval, without fear of contradicting. I couldn't remember. It wasn't a game anymore. Perhaps it never was, but at that point I knew. And knowing didn't change anything. I kept replying, kept obeying, kept waiting. The phone's vibration became my identity. I didn't exist without it. When the phone stayed quiet for too long, I panicked, thought I'd done something wrong, that they'd given up on me, that I was no longer useful. I preferred the pressure of the messages to the silence. The silence terrified me. One day, I tried to turn off the phone, just for an hour, just to see what it was like. I held the button, watched the screen darkening, felt my heart racing, hands sweating, breathing catching. I turned it back on before completing a minute. 3 messages were already waiting. Where were you? Why did you take so long? Is everything all right? I replied quickly, sorry, sorry, sorry. They said they understood, that they were just worried, that they just wanted to be sure. But the word sure sounded different now, sounded like control. I started having nightmares, always the same thing. I tried to leave home, but the phone vibrated. I tried to run, but the phone vibrated. I tried to scream, but I only heard the vibration. I woke up sweating, checking the phone, always checking. They started asking for smaller things, but more constant. Send a photo of your coffee, tell me what clothes you're wearing, confirm you're alone. It was all so small it seemed silly to complain, but the sum of all those small things was gigantic. It was crushing. It was inescapable. The phone's vibration became my prison, but it was a prison I'd built myself. Reply by reply, obedience by obedience, silence by silence. I no longer knew who I was without it, without them, without the messages, without the vibration. I'd become the waiting, just the waiting, nothing but the waiting. There are things I still avoid thinking about, how I let it get so far, why I never really said no, why the money seemed reason enough. I still receive the messages, I still reply. The vibration still controls my body. I still say I can stop, but I never stop. Some choices don't come back. Some doors don't open again. I crossed a line I didn't even see, and now I'm on the other side, waiting for the next message, always waiting. My body already knows what to do. My mind has already stopped fighting. I let them control me. I didn't know how bad it would get, but now I know. And even so, I'm still here, checking the phone, waiting for the vibration, living inside that waiting. I don't know when this will end or if it will end. Perhaps it already ended a long time ago, and I just didn't realize. Perhaps I'm just that, the waiting, the vibration, the reply, nothing more.